Alright guys, so we're back with Caleb. He's going to show us a few combos with his Atlantean Mermail deep sea deck.
Yeah, so everybody knows the standard, like start with a Diva route basically. So I figured I'd do something a little different. So this one's going to be Diva, Teus, and all water. So if I have Diva but I don't have Dragoons, but do have an extender, okay? So first thing, normal this. I'll grab you Neptibus effect. Gonna send Dragoons, add Dragoons effect. Grab your Minstrel, standard up to this point. Gonna rip a card from our opponent's hand with this, and it's gonna trigger Dragoon's effect, which is going to get us the Ruling Glacier to hand. So at this point, 3 waters in grave, 2 on board. Going to link these for Huck-a-Vibrax. Then Huck-a-Vibrax effect is going to trigger, bringing a Jet Synchron. At this point we now have the 5 waters in grave, so we can drop the Moulin. And we want to go in defense because Lightning Storm is a card. Okay, at this point we can actually drop our Abyss Teus. So Teus pitch in the water, and Teus effect is going to grab you the Abyss Mander. At this point, going to make a Fire Unbalanced card, Mecha Phantom Beast of Rorodon. So Rorodon, when it's summoned, is going to give us Mecha Phantom Beast tokens. We're going to use its effect, get rid of itself, and one of the tokens to special summon Olion from our deck. So this point is where it can diverge, okay? So first things first, we'll keep it fairly standard. So the Olion and one of the tokens is going to give us Garden Rose Maiden, then Olion is going to give us another token. We still have our Jet Synchron engraved, so Jet Synchron discarding Abyss Mander, special itself. Then we're going to use the Jet Synchron, which at this point will get banished, and the Garden Rose Maiden. Again, this one's fairly standard at this point, making our Coral Dragon. We then use Coral Dragon and one of our level 3 tokens, and that is going to make for us Arcadis. At this point, we have Coral Dragon's effect to draw and Arcadis' effect to draw, so additional 2 cards. Then we are going to banish the Garden Rose Maiden, bring back the Coral Dragon and our other token is going to give us the Vermilion Dragon mech. Where this diverges now is because we have the Abyss Mander, we can banish the Abyss Mander to make Teus level 9, and instead of using Arcadis, we only use these two to make our Calamities. So we still have our Arcadis on board, potentially with cards like Heavy Infantry and so on in hand. We have our Calamities, and Moulin is still on the board, so we've retained our Battle Phase.
After having banished 1 and discarded 2 at your opponent's hand.
So you've taken 3 out of their hand, and you're basically cutting them off from monsters, and you have at least 1 pop.
And 4 cards in hand, so that could be...
Could be anything. Yeah. Could be the Nibiru. If you're playing additional handouts, could be those. It could be call buys, which does serve as an additional interrupt as well. Right. And I'm also facilitating swap frog. Like I am spending a lot of hand resources at this point if I'm starting to commit to a frog play, but a toad on board is nice.
Yeah. Alright, we'll rewind that and see where it diverges.
Okay. Okay, so this is where things can take a bit of a different turn, right? So, still using our Olion on a token to make the Rose Maiden, and this is where if it were Axel Synchron and you had a target, you could do other things, but I'm just playing the Rose Maiden. This is going to give us back a token, and then same as before, Jet Synchron using this. So from this point, instead of going into a Coral Dragon, what I'm going to do is 1, 3 plus 3 is 7. And I'm going to make Prima Donna. Okay, so we have this banished card that our opponent was getting back in the end phase. Except with Prima Donna, I'm going to give it back to them now.
So you need to really know beforehand, because if you give them back the Nibiru now, then they can ruin your day.
Yeah, I wouldn't use this route in that case.
Yeah.
If it was a Nibiru, if it was something that is absolutely fine giving them back, and I want to rip something else out of their hand or have a go at that, I'll do this. Or if I'm generally going for hand control.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for the Prima Donna, give that back, and that's going to let me tutor out from the deck my Deep Sea Artisan. So Deep Sea Artisan, what that is then able to do is I can send the top card of my deck to the grave. So same as this. Target one of my water level 4 lowers. I'm going to target my Neptibus. And I'm going to special summon it. So the thing about Prima Donna is it is a tuner as well. So I'm going to use the Prima Donna along with the Artisan and Neptibus for Trishula. Trishula's going to banish something from their hand and one of those cards in grave. So if I'm playing against a deck that has cards that are basically grave resources or cards that are more proactive in grave, this is a route I will take if I'm able to then stump their plays by getting rid of a certain card. At this point, I'm still able to end on the Calamities, and that's why it's kind of gross. Because I have the Abyssmander to banish, and this becomes level 9, and then I can overlay these for the True King of all Calamities. And something that I didn't actually even touch on, so the Deep Sea Prima Donna, when it hits the grave, a banished card can be added back into the deck. So we've already been playing with banished cards, and some of them are quite useful in deck. I don't play second Hunt of Firebrax and whatnot, so some of them are less useful. But if I've used a Deep Sea Aria for a Dragoons, I can then put Dragoons back in deck when that hits the grave, and so on.
Right, so this one ends. You still have the Calamities. You don't have the Crocosaur.
No.
But in this case, there's one discarded, two banished, as opposed to two discarded and a banished will get back in the end phase.
Yeah, and then the Garden Rose Maiden is still on board. Like, it is a fairly big body at 2/4 defense, and it means that next turn I can start really abusing Coral Dragon. Obviously, I haven't really been able to set my hand up for it, but this all came from 2 cards on blank water with 2 cards left. If I had the Aria and so on, I have set up to fully pop off using this on my next turn when my opponent can't use monster effects or attack me, and I still have a battle phase. So it's a more conservative way to play, but still can push for game.
Alright. Have you got another combo to show us?
Potentially.
Yeah. So we've decided to go with just a couple of test hands here, show a more organic combo route, and Callum can explain his thought processes as he goes through.
You can certainly try.
If there are any thought processes. I'll give that up.
Yeah, go for it. Mix me up.
I'll just riffle shuffle all these.
His soul would break.
His neck would break. Alright. See what we got. Okay. Okay.
Oh! Yes!
Fully playable.
Saved.
Alright. Why? Okay, so this isn't going to be the most inventive thing you've ever seen because it's a normal summon diva, but let's go with it, right? So normal summon the diva first of all. Do I have protection? No. Diva, this is where I get impermed and I cry. But if they hold it for the Halka Firebrax, I still cry. So on this, I don't actually. After this, I only cry if they have 2, which is usually the way. Send Dragoons, Dragoons, then Dragoon's effect is going to fetch for me, if I can find it, Minstrel. Yeah, so I already have the Moon and Glacia, so I can grab other cards that can do other things, basically. As well as having the Aria for setup. So in fact, the Aria could have got me this, and I could have gotten a Megalo instead. Yeah, try that. I'll say I did that instead. Why not?
So grab the Megalo.
That was grabbing a Megalo, yeah. So the Megalo doesn't always come up, but it can. like it's a level 7, so at worst it's a body for synchro climbing. Yeah, from there,
The minstrel.
minstrel, dragoons.
Have a card.
This is normally where I'd grab this, but I've already got it, so I'll just grab something else. Could be really greedy and grab the Neptibus so that I can revive dragoons later, and then maybe make a push with Diva Donna. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, I have 2 waters engraved at this point. You would usually have 3 if you hadn't used the Aria, but I'm going to show you why that's not a problem, even though I'm not playing with Link Reaver or whatever. So immediately link for the Halka-Fibrax. And we're going to go the full Auroradon route with this, which means I'm going to summon the Jet Synchron that I play, because I don't play Deskbot 1 for reasons explained in the deck profile. So at this point, still a 4, but if I make the Auroradon, which summons my tokens, that's not a token. I
It
now
would be nice though.
I now have the 5 waters engraved, so I can summon the Moon Glacier again in defense, because Lightning Storm.
And ripping 2 cards.
Ripping 2 cards. So we have the 1 banished that we get back in the end phase, and we have 2 discarded. Okay. So at this point, general order of plays, you're going to want to use this on one of your tokens, so that you can fetch an O-Lion from your deck. An O-Lion is kind of part of where this gets a bit crazy. So again, a few different ways I can go with this. So I'm thinking that I want to prioritize Prima Donna, because rather than going for Trish, I can get another level 4 that would then facilitate the Bahamut Shark to bring out a totally awesome. As well as still wanting to push for Calamities. That's the tricky thing, because I would want to open Abyss Teus if I were to take that route. So this one may have to be a more conservative Calamities route and then just go from there. Yeah, it would need to be more conservative, so this one's going to have to just end on Calamities. Because I would value the Calamities more highly than an Omni Negate like Toad, because Calamities is a floodgate, essentially. So Garden Rose Maiden, and we would get another token from O-Lion. At this point, we can use Jet Synchron, discarding whatever. We have the Rowan totem, so may as well get rid of that. Summon this. So from this point, again, the usual line of play would go into the Coral Dragon and then make my 2 rank 9s. Only thing I'm thinking is if I make the Diva Donna, I can bring out a Swap Frog and then send a Swap Frog and make it that way. As well, but then Ronin Totem, important to know, it has a restriction that you can't use it for Synchro Summons, so we can't then use it with Prima Donna to make a level 9 Synchro. So yeah, we're going to have to be boring, unfortunately.
So if we see the Teus off the draw as well.
If we see the taste, then we're in business, yeah. Well, I say we're in business. Well, we're in business because we have so many waters, because we'd then be able to put the mana in grave as well. So at this point we're making the Coral Dragon, and then keeping it simple, Coral Dragon on a level 3 token for the Arcadus. So at this point, Coral Dragon's a draw, Arcadus is a draw, so we're drawing 2. Shithana and Heavy Infantry, so that's a handful of waters. Shithana, at this point, if it was an Aqua Spirit, would be a Bahamut Shark play because of Megalo in this. But I cut the Aqua Spirit for Shithana, again prioritizing Bahamut Shark early because you want to make it before the Nibiru if you can. Yeah, so at this point, what you're going to do is bounce your Garden Rose Maiden to special back your Coral Dragon, and then your Coral Dragon again with another one of these to make the Vermilion Dragon mech. These 2 together is going to be Calamities. So you've got the calamities. You're not being attacked. This thing is staying on field, so you're retaining a battle phase. 2 cards in grave. They're going to get the banished card back. You have 5 cards in hand to do whatever you will with. Having the Lapis Dragon and whatnot kind of sucked, but hey, it is what it is. The only thing about this is then on our next turn, it's a lot easier to push for game with a hand like this, because we are able to use the Megalo for the Neptibus on the infantry, or we're able to use the infantry as a starter. Infantry is going to pop cards. Megalo is a card that attacks twice. It's a good card. Yeah.
Will we reset and try another one? Hopefully you don't draw 3 bricks.
Would be nice. Alright, what have we got? Okay. That's better. Artisan, don't want that.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, alright. My best friend! It's gotta be one of those, isn't it?
Can he do it? No, it's a toad. It's a toad. It's a toad. It's a toad.
Bahamut and then Aria. Here we go. 9th time lucky.
That in the hand can make this interesting. Probably not though, let's be honest.
We got the Millen Glacier again.
Got the realization again. Alright. Yeah, right. Activist and 1 for 1. So, potentially unorthodox, because this could be normal summon and then I could 1 for 1 out a Neptibus by pitching the other Neptibus. But the issue with that is that I then don't have this for the Halka-Fibrax. And I'm locking myself into committing to the Link Cross.
I mean, we've not seen the link cross fair. Like,
Yeah, we're not seeing the Link Cross. I'm trying to think if there isn't a Rorodon route, and if there isn't a Rorodon route, I'm going to go the Link Cross route. Yeah. Can still Neptibus plus Lapis Dragon, or Neptibus to get the Lapis Dragon, and that'll just be that standard route, and then the 1 for 1 can give me the Artisan later on to mess around with. So that would be the more conservative route. Tell you what, we can use this hand that I can do both, and we'll see what we get.
Okay.
Yep. So, committed to memory. Alright. First things first. The safe route. So, Neptibus. In fact, 1 for 1 for the Neptibus would also be good, but no, I'm going to commit to normal summon. Because if I 1 for 1 it, then I can keep the normal summon, I can search a Diva, normal summon the Diva, and go from there. Which sounds better, but no. No, it wouldn't be better because I still need to get the Minstrel.
we see deep inner workings of a Mermail player's mind.
Yeah, like the 1 for 1 is what makes it really interesting, because I can get to the Artisan when I otherwise wouldn't be able to get to the Artisan without the Link Cross play. But is it worth getting the Artisan? I think yes, because I have Swap Frog. Because I can discard the Swap Frog for the Jet Synchron. I can Artisan revive the Swap Frog when it is revived. I can then bounce it and use Sends. Oh, I don't like this.
We have like 5 hands in a row that are unplayable.
This one's not unplayable. This one's very playable. It's just deciding
Yeah.
what the right thing to do is.
It's just you didn't complain as much when you had a playable hand.
The main compromise here is that. So this is where having knowledge, like post game 1, is important. Actually, never mind. Wheel of Glacier is in hand. This is fine. If Wheel of Glacier wasn't in hand, I wouldn't get to Mulan in this turn because I had the Minstrel, basically. Because I'd be doing this instead of grabbing it like I normally would for the usual setup. I'm forced to grab the Lapis Dragon.
And pulling something out of the hand.
Yeah. So I am forced in this situation to get Lapis Dragon. If I didn't have this, I would have been screwed. Well, I wouldn't have been screwed, but it wouldn't have been nearly as impressive. At this point, the Halka-Vibrax, and again, the safe thing to do is Halka-Vibrax can get it out of the hand, whereas Auroradon can't. So if this was O-Lion, I would have to do my Link Cross route now, but because this is Jet Synchron, I don't have to. 5 Waters Engrave means Mulan's going to hit the board, and then from here it is
another 2.
From here it is standard. Auroradon. Auroradon effect. Self. One of these. Grab the O-Lion. And then this, how interesting this gets, because of the 1-for-1, will depend on what I get of the Arcadus and Coral Dragon draws. So this, plus that.
Yeah, we've seen this. So.
Yeah. Effect that. Give me that. Ah, but then Jet Synchron has to get rid of one of these, so that's a commitment. Would I value the 1-for-1 more, or the Swap Frog?
Well, you'll be getting the draws.
I'm not getting the draws until I've already used Jet Synchron. This is the point at which I use Jet Synchron. You mean for the Swap Frog then, yeah. Or for but it's for the 1-for-1 as well. That's what I'm thinking. But like, this has less...
What does Artisan get back from Grave?
Artisan can get this back.
I feel just...
Yeah, which is what I'm saying, because you'll discard that for Jets, draw. And if you have another monster, then you can 1-for-1.
That seems fine. It's just with hands like these, you're always afraid of the commitment, in case it ends up being the wrong one. Here's the 1-for-1. And this, again, is the standard route into Calamities at this point. So this is where we get our draw to.
We'll be getting that little shuffle right here. Shame we don't have the Milling Glacier for you to draw the Milling Glacier.
I mean...
That's what I'm saying, you don't have it in there.
Yeah. Watch me draw another one somehow. Oh, okay.
That changes things.
Yeah. So, scratch need an artisan. I mean, it is still an issue because there is no monster in hand to get an additional summon of the Swap Frog. If I were to try to abuse the Swap Frog. Is there anything else I can abuse with the Reborn though? That's an interesting thought. So at this point, level 3 token, I would be reviving the Coral Dragon and immediately making a level 9. The 1-for-1 is a dead card in hand, so it would entirely depend on the Reborn. Could technically Reborn the Halka-Vibrax and then summon Prima Donna in the opponent's turn. That's a thing that can be done. Have no other extenders really, so I think that might be the way to go. Yeah. So special summon the Coral Dragon, banishing Garden Rose Maiden. From there, token this, the Dragon Mech.
This seems like the same combo with more steps.
It was because
you see, we
more
took the,
steps
we
were
took the mystery
facilitated.
we took the mystery box and it just didn't quite pan out in a deck full of. I don't even want to count how many water monsters.
Enough.
Drawing 2 spells.
Yeah. Then yeah, Reborn on Halka-Vibrax.
Alright, so we'll show the same starting hand, but instead of having Jet Synchron, we'll show it with O-Line instead.
Which, generally speaking, is the bigger problem. And I'm only playing the 1 O-Lion, so we'll see where we can get to. Same start as always, just going to normal the Neptibus. Send Dragoons. Add Dragoons. And we don't like being stopped. Could
Finish one at hand.
then... Yes, we have to go for the Lapis Dragon in this instance because we need a tuner on board. So add the Lapis Dragon effect and special itself. And then using these for the Hackfire Rex is immediately going to set us up for the Unungesia. Which was nice to have in hand. If you have Diva, this isn't a problem, but opening just Neptibus makes it a little trickier. So Hackfire Rex, summoning the O-Lion. 5 Waters in Grave, summon this. So again, this is where this branches off, right? So
Rip 2 more from hand.
I'm only playing with one of these, so Riordon is not coming up. But alternative is Link Cross. So Link Cross, when summoned, can summon level 1 tokens up to the Link reading of whatever was used to summon it. I used Hackfire Rex, so I can get 1, 2. From there, I can use one of those tokens along with the O-Lion to summon Martial Metal Marcher. So I'm going to get Chain Link 1 Martial Metal Marcher. I'm going to target the Minstrel to special summon it. And Chain Link 2 the O-Lion is going to summon a level 3 token. So I get my token and get a Minstrel. It could be any tuner, but I didn't have the Diva. Lapis Dragon is a level 5, level 3, maybe easier to work with. It may not. We'll see what happens. From this point, I have 3/3/1. If I had the Lapis Dragon, I could go for a Trishula, but I wouldn't be able to do much else. Could also go the Coral Dragon into Arcadus. But with a hand like this, I'm much more confident in using 3 and 1 to make Deep Sea Prima Donna. So we have the card that we took out of their hand that I wouldn't go this route if it was Nibiru because I don't want to give it back. If it's not Nibiru, this is the route I would take. I'll give it back to them, and then I'm going to use the effect to shoot her out. Deep Sea Artisan. Actually, the 1/1 makes that really interesting. I would not need to tutor out the Artisan. I would if I wanted to go to Trishula. So the alternative line of thought here is if I used 1/1 pitching this and used it to grab the Artisan, then Prima Donna could be bringing out another Swap Frog that would then be sending the Ronin Totem, and that would immediately set up the Totally Awesome. Because Prima Donna, you can summon a water from deck. Level 4 lore.
And the Artisan can bring out your Neptibus and still make the Trish.
In that instance, yes. The only issue then is space. So yeah, let's see what happens there, right? Instead, I'm going to say that I'm using Prima Donna, because Prima Donna, unlike Artisan, does not negate the effect. So I'm going to summon out Swap Frog. The Swap Frog effect will send the Ronin Totem. From there, yeah, that's the issue of space. But this is the dead card, and I can bounce. If this was in attack position, I could bounce it. That would be nice. Having the option of bouncing the Swap Frog is another thing as well. Especially with this one. Yeah, because then I wouldn't even need to send one. But then there's the 1/1.
Yeah, you'd still need another card in hand.
Yeah. If I knew the route, I would have the foresight to have this in attack and then bounce it. And having this in hand for control is actually pretty good anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So I could use Swap Frog to bounce this back to hand. 1 for 1 would pitch that. Then wherever Artisan has ended up. Top of the deck, convenient. And then Artisan, we're going to send the top card of the deck, and we're going to target the Neptibus to revive it. Always. Send the top card. It's a Neptibus. That's handy. Right, and yeah, so from this point we still have our attritional play available. So 7, 1, and 1. And at this point, if we had a banished card, we could put it back, but we don't. Summon Trishula.
Trishula banishing.
Something from the grave and something from the hand, yeah.
No.
So now we have 3 cards that we've looped. And now I'm going to banish Swap Frog to bring back the Roman Totem. Totally awesome. And then obviously in the opponent's turn, Toad can shoot out another Swap Frog from the deck. That's an act we contribute. That is much more powerful when you're controlling with calamities on the board, but obviously this route was really limited because I opened the O-Lion. But I think for having opened the O-Lion, a 3-card loop and an Omni Negate is not bad. As well as having the Minstrel in hand for next turn, of course. Yeah, just thinking if there were any alternatives that could have been done there.
So, what is Prima Donna's requirements for synchro? What do you need to synchro summon? Is it pretty generic?
It's generic, yeah. It's a tuner plus a non-tuner.
You could have made a coral and then use the token in the coral to get another draw and see what else you
Yeah.
get. But like,
yeah, I could have done it that way. Generally speaking, I haven't been doing that because the routes that I've been wanting to use facilitating the Coral Dragon are wanting to set it up also with the Garden Rose Maiden just so that I can abuse it again either in the same turn or the following turn. Obviously not abusing the effect to draw in the same turn, but it's on summon effect to pop things is a good effect. And like during your second turn, if you can summon it back from the grave and so on, it's really good. In that case, yeah, the draw might have been nice. Like for instance, Reborn, that would have been a card.
Yeah.
But that's kind of...
yeah, it's very
It's where I think this build is interesting as opposed to building just for the Diva Summon or the Test Dragoons, right? So I'm playing all these extenders like the frogs and whatnot. Yes, the ceiling is raised and it adds a lot of avenues at a lot of points that are making it more complicated. But I took something that looked like a brick and it's ended on something quite decent. Is it a guaranteed win? No. But it doesn't have to be. This, in theory, was a brick hand, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's pretty good.
Right. Well, thanks, Kellen, for the combos and the test hands. We'll look forward to seeing what you come up with next.
If you like, he'll make us a gimmick puppet profile as well.
Do I even have those cards anymore? Yeah.
We'll find them.
Yeah, we've got a few options with Calum. So yeah, please like, subscribe, and comment below anything you want to ask or say to Calum. Thanks, guys.
Shh, not a zombie channel.